What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nile's Reptile. Today, this is the host, Natalie. This is the co-host, Kevin. This is a special
guest.
What's
his name? Special guest, Lamb Chop. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Natalie's Reptile Room. Today, we are getting back into our coolest prehistoric reptile videos. And today, we got a beast. A beast.
And guys, what's behind us? This is what's here.
But as Natalie said in the last video, it seems like we've been doing all the giants first. We did the biggest snake to ever exist, biggest monitor lizard to ever exist. We did Archelon, the biggest turtle to ever exist. Today's no exception. And if they want to see the last one, Archelon, they can watch it right here.
No, they can't.
They can. It's magic.
No, they cannot. Guys, can you see it there?
But today, we are taking on Sarcosuchus Imperator, which Natalie and I drew the picture of him. And as much as I would like to say a 5-year-old drew that, Daddy drew that, didn't he?
I did not help him.
Not at all. A scary thing about that, Sarcosuchus is Greek for flesh crocodile. Tell me that doesn't sound freaky. Flesh crocodile. That's crazy.
What? How big is it?
Oh, wait till we get into how big he is. This is gonna be a good one.
Is it like big as the whole house?
Yes. But other people may know them as the Super Croc. Is what, like, most documentaries and stuff like that you'll see on YouTube and TV is Super Croc. And check out that name, Super Croc. That just means big, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, because
Super. Like, super giant.
Yeah.
Which, despite the name, they weren't even a crocodilian. I mean, what does he look like to you?
A chomper.
A chomper? He looks like a crocodilian in that, but despite the name, Super Croc, and most people thinking they were a crocodilian, they weren't even a crocodilian.
Is that how big they are?
Uh-huh, that big. But they are actually crocodiliforms, which is a close relative to crocodilians, but not crocodilians, which is why we avoided calling them the world's biggest crocodile. Because we got another one for that too.
Yeah.
But they are still a reptile. He roamed the earth during the early Cretaceous period, about 100 to 130 million years ago. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Very long.
Yeah.
The first ever discovered fossils of the Sarcosuchus was discovered in the African Sahara back in the 1950s. Which even that was still a long time ago, but not as long as when they actually roamed the earth.
Yeah.
But that's when they discovered like the fossils of it. And they were discovered by a Albert Felix de la Parent. I probably really butchered that name, but that's who they were discovered by. And paleontologists have made more discoveries as recently as 2007 about Sarcosuchus, but much like the Megalania, a full skeleton has never been discovered. Like, they've only found bits and pieces of his skeleton, which does make trying to get their actual size and appearance a bit tricky. But remember, we said maybe one day you'll be the paleontologist that discover that stuff.
Yeah, and then
That'd be cool for you to do one day.
And guys, I'll tell you what the walk I'm doing. So I'm gonna do like a reptile vet and cat vets.
Like reptile mammals?
Yeah.
There's a need for reptile vets out there. You gotta go to a lot of school for that. So I'm gonna hold you to it. You gotta get really good grades, okay?
Okay.
Which brings us into the meat and potatoes of this video. Size and appearance. The meat and potatoes of this video. We're getting into it.
That sounds funny.
But even without a full skeleton, scientists have been able to put together some very accurate estimates. You want to take a guess?
Sure.
Take a guess. How big were they?
Huge.
Huge? Like bigger than a car? Bigger than a bus? Bigger than our house? say. Estimates have put this guy between 33 and 40 feet long. 40 feet long. I know that's hard to understand, but I mean, that is huge. Absolutely massive. And weighed between 4.5 and 8.8 tons. Tons.
How big is his tail?
His tail? Oh, we're getting into that too. Just check out some of these pictures of like his full body. I like how Lamb Chop is just sitting here going along with us too.
Like, what?
It's like, what is that thing? To put that in perspective for you guys, the world's ever largest recorded saltwater crocodile, which is the largest living crocodile today, was only 20 feet and only weighed a single ton. So put that against him, where he grew up to 33 to 40 feet, 4 to 8 times the weight that a saltwater crocodile is today. But that was the crocodile Lolong, and that would have nearly, if not doubled, the Sarcosuchus would have doubled Lolong in size. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Doubled it.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not scary.
That's not scary.
Oh, it's not?
Oh yeah, that is scary.
That is scary. But you asked how big the tail was. I don't know about the tail, but their head was 6 feet long in itself and housed 132 teeth. If you got trapped in those jaws, it'd be end of story. Game over.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And his mouth would be bigger than my whole body.
His head is 6 foot. That would mean that his head is as tall as Daddy. If I lay down on the floor, I would only be as big as just his head. That is insane.
Yeah.
He would have ate me and you no problem, with their top jaw being longer than their bottom jaw, which if you look in these pictures, kind of like left it with an overbite. You see that?
Yeah.
That his top jaw is actually longer than his bottom jaw. So he would have had like an overbite. He's scary looking. A beast. A cool fact about the Sarcosuchus is as juveniles, they had a very, very narrow snout. Kind of like the gharials of today. Have you ever seen one of them? It would have looked like this. Like a really long, narrow snout. Look at them teeth.
So is that a crocodile?
Yes, this one's a crocodilian. As they became adults, their snout widened, making it look more like a crocodilian that you would think of today. So it went from that really long, narrow snout to more broad, like a crocodile of today.
Oh.
Also, like gharials, they would have had that big bulbous snout on the top of their nose. Like that big snout that they have right there. Mm-hmm. That big bubbly looking thing at the end of their snout. So I mean, they're pretty awesome looking, aren't they?
Yeah, like how big that jaw is.
Uh-huh. Huge. Sarcosuchus also had very large and thick Ostroderms. Do you remember what those are?
No.
Those are like those thick plates that you see on crocodilians of today, but they're kind of like the scales, but they're thick plates that go all along their body.
So it's like that the biggest turtle?
Kinda like the shell, but Sarcosuchuses were so thick that it would have actually made it difficult for them to flex their body. But when you're roaming the earth with dinosaurs, you need that extra protection. You need that body armor, right? Because, I mean, they roamed the earth the same time as dinosaurs.
So if the dinosaur bit it?
They had those Ostroderms to protect their body.
And it would have chomped them really good?
I'm sure if they got gnawed on enough, it would still go through them, but it was still super protective. I mean, me and you, back then, we would need a tank. We'd have to go through the Cretaceous with a tank to make it out. Yeah.
But what if he bit into that tank?
I mean, as powerful as a crocodile's jaws are, I don't know, that thing could have bent a tank. Also, unlike crocodilians of today, whose eyes only move left and right, the Sarcosuchus's eyes would have moved up and down. So that's a pretty cool little fun fact, ain't it?
Yeah, but why would his eyes go straight?
I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with maybe the issues with them being able to flex their body.
Yeah.
So rather flexing their body, moving left and right, it made more sense for their eyes to go up and down so they could see prey like right out of the water's edge. I mean, I'm no scientist, but I mean, that sounds right to me. All right, so Lamb Chop went back. Now we got the, what is he? Rocco, the bearded dragon.
Yeah.
He's going to join us the rest of the video. And the last and probably scariest fact about the Sarcosuchus is that they grew for the majority of their life. So continuously grew. So unlike the crocodilians of today, who usually max out at 10 years old, like they usually get their full length at about 10 years old,
Yeah.
Sarcosuchus would have continued growing for up to 40 years of their life. That's a long time. That's probably why they got so big, because they were constantly growing.
That's even bigger than the TV.
Much bigger than that TV. So let's move into the habitat of the Sarcosuchus, which was also very similar to the crocodilians of today. Sarcosuchus inhabited Gowanda 100 to 130 million years ago, which back then was like a giant supercontinent. That's when the world, like a bunch of continents, were still all put together. You'll learn about that in school too.
Oh.
They would have been found in today what makes South America and Africa before those two continents split away from the supercontinent. But I mean, it's crazy how different the world used to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really cool. They would have lived in like the rivers, marshes, and wetlands of that area, much like the Nile crocodiles of today. You remember saying Nile crocodiles before? Remember when we did our prank video and we introduced Bella as our Nile crocodile?
Yeah.
That was funny. And finally, on to
Diet.
What did this river monster eat?
Dinosaurs.
So as we already mentioned, as juveniles, they had that long, narrow snout, kind of like gharials of today. So that would have made them experts at catching giant prehistoric fish. Because, I mean, they're experts at catching fish with that long, narrow snout. Kind of like when we were on vacation and you were a total pro at catching fish. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was fun.
And I caught like a koi.
You caught that really big bass. You caught a couple of them. But as they got bigger, their diet got bigger. As they got bigger, they needed to eat bigger things, right?
Yeah.
So, you already kind of mentioned one. Big enough to eat giant shark-sized fish, and even, like you said, dinosaurs. Yeah. Do you understand how big you have to be able to eat dinosaurs? Huge. Massive.
Like bigger than this house.
Yeah, like that big. But much like today's crocodiles, they were ambush predators, where they would like sit near the river water's edge, waiting for some unfortunate soul to come too close to the water.
But why does he not fit in this water?
He did fit in the water, and they would put their body down in the murky water, waiting for something to pass by them. And then when it got too close, they would come out of the water and chomp down on them with those giant jaws. Crazy.
So if they saw something fly down the perfect way for them to get it, like a ball.
Yeah, and they would just wham. But they would have killed their prey, again, much like we just said, the crocodilians of today, where something would come too close to the water's edge, where they would ambush them and shut those giant, powerful jaws of 132 teeth on them, and then drag them back into the water to either drown them or just rip them apart. That's a scary, scary sight.
So, and they would do it to you and me?
Oh, I think so. Alright, and on that note, that does it for our video on Sarcosuchus. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it informative or just liked it, make sure to leave us a like. And if you would, consider subscribing, because we do more of these videos every other week. Coolest reptiles.
Bye-bye.
And draw awesome dad pictures.
And the crocodile just said,
He's beautiful.
Bye.
I think I did a good job on him.
Yeah. Bye. He just said bye.
Alright guys, but we will see you on Saturday.
Give it a huge thumbs up.
Huge thumbs up. Bye guys.
Bye.